I went out on the street and I felt like as if I was on a movie set. Cars were driving by me and I could hear them whoosh, and I couldn't recognize anything around me or the people around me.
You know, their symptoms are distracting enough that it prevents them from living a normal life. And that means, the symptoms are intrusive. They are just such a distraction that they have so much anxiety that it's hard to fit in and be normal.
This is horrible for my life. I don't want to live like this. It's making me, suicidal. Like, I don't want to suffer with this.
Every night, millions of people use recreational drugs. Whether it is at home or in a nightclub, the objective is always the same: to have fun. However, sometimes it might lead to something they didn't expect. It's called Hallucinogen Persisting perception disorder, and it is a real condition, even though very little is known about it.
My name is Carolina Neves, and I'm going to find out more.
It's a long-lived disorder of perception, almost invariably visual perception, following the use of certain classes of drugs. Drugs almost invariably are hallucinogenic drugs, but they might be things like MDMA, which is not strictly a hallucinogenic drug, or it could be even an amphetamine, which is not a hallucinogen at all. And so certain psychoactive psychostimulant drugs create a pattern of continued visual disturbances, and those visual disturbances may last just a few weeks or all the way up to a lifetime.
I've had it now for over 28 years.
5 years.
5 years.
3 years.
4 years.
5 years.
HPPD causes mainly visual changes, from after images to trails of light.
As far as vision-wise, paranoid sort of delusions where I'll see like shadow people out of the corner of my eyes. Shapes will like start to appear and like certain patterns. Words become jumbled up.
Visual hallucinations, basically like 24/7. That is just anything from like being able to see, like a black and white television, black and white television, but that's just over everything. But just with so many different arrays of colors and lights and spheres and
after images, visual snow in dark places, outlines of shadows and that aren't really there, geometrical shapes and shadows that my eyes pick up.
And like many people think, HPPD isn't dose related. It's possible for anyone to get it after taking drugs only once. Some patients even start feeling the symptoms months or years after taking drugs.
I was supposed to go to Peru for 2 weeks and take ayahuasca brew. Took part in it at a retreat center, so it was, they actually make you stop taking any sort of drug or anything like a couple months before because it interacts with the ayahuasca. But by then, I don't even think I had used alcohol or anything really. I was kind of normal actually when I came home from that experience. People said I actually seemed more positive and everything. And then, but around a year later, I had a complete breakdown from it. It was supposed to be for healing, actually, and then I ended up being way worse off, but that's okay.
I ended up getting HPPD the second time I ever took a psychedelic. I ended up taking LSD, and my HPPD only set in 6 weeks later. I don't know why, but all of a sudden, one day, I thought to myself, no, something is seriously not right here. And then I was just paralyzed with fear for the next 2 months. I didn't tell anyone. I was terrified. I was freaking out. I thought, is this going to go away? What's happening?
With stigma attached to this disorder still to overcome, many patients look for answers online. That's why Alex Miller created a Facebook support group for those who are suffering from the symptoms.
People go online because they want answers. They want to know what they have, and they want to talk to other people who have the same thing. And that's what's so great about being in a group full of people like that, is because, we bring people together who understand and who can relate. And I think that's really great, because that's, like I said, is one step closer to really understanding this more, is bringing people together and talking about it and raising that awareness.
To this day, there is no cure or remedy for HPPD. Some people do recover over time. HPPD sufferers can only hope and remain strong.
Don't panic. Go and see your doctor, because it can be something else. You never know.
Joining support groups, if they can, is the most beneficial.
It's frustrating, but I think there's hope, like I said.